For more on this, I'm now joined by a former Robben Island prisoner. Seth Mazibuko joins us in studio. Good evening and welcome to The Full View.
Thank you very much.
As we celebrate and commemorate the release of Nelson Mandela, what goes through your mind?
It conflicting and contradicting feelings. That maybe what kept Mandela in jail for a long time with the Sabugwes and the rest of other leaders, that we used, many of us as young people, as a moral campus. That long walk that they walked, we are missing those steps. And the joy of having Mandela on this day, walking out of prison with his clenched fist and with Mama Winnie next to him. We are also even misrepresenting that picture. What are we doing?
How so? Just looking at these visuals, there they are. And there you have Mam Winnie as well as Nelson Mandela. How is it that you would say we are...
How many of you young people do what Mam Winnie did, having to wait for all these years for a man behind prison, behind bars? Instead, many of our young people get back into prison for killing women, for raping women, for undermining, for even... Take another pause. When Mandela walked out there were joy. I see the pictures of the joy. How many of those people that welcomed Mandela are still in poverty, are still homeless? I just heard your song from Homeless.
Yeah.
How many are still homeless? Can we still say that that joy can be replayed?
Were we at all too optimistic probably at the time, that we thought that the release of Nelson Mandela was the panacea and this is the thing that would give us the answers to all the struggles and the problems that the country is facing or faced at the time?
We were all happy. There is no one who would not celebrate any person behind bars for 27 and gets released for fighting for such a good cause. But at the same time is, after that, then what happens? And maybe we took Mandela too much into a sentence statue than a rose, than an Alexander statue. We commercialized the man that walked that route. And there is still a lot that we immediately, if one might say, we immediately took Mandela and made him our money. We even have him now at 100 Rand notes. And we never followed the moral side of Mandela, where Mandela himself spoke of the RDP of the mind, you know, the reconstruction and development of the mind. We have the same, some of the Comrade Cyril Ramaphosa was standing next to Mandela.
And was holding the mic.
That same Cyril is the same Cyril that caused the death in Marikana. That same Cyril is the same Cyril that cannot be able to give people land so that they can be having homes. Do I have something to celebrate by on this day?
Yeah.
No. No.
So then, in the
Am I angry Yes,
Yeah.
because we are misrepresenting.
Yeah, in the example that you make now, and I know when you started off, you spoke about the contradictions that are there, and I think it's a perfect example. Speaking
There's
about
the other side of me.
speaking
I'm
about,
happy that I was a young man that cooked for him. I worked in the kitchen.
just quickly speaking about President Cyril Ramaphosa, and you apportioning blame to him for the Marikana incident, and then on the other hand, you have institutions, of course, democratic institutions that have been put in place. And then you have the setup of the Commission of Inquiry. And the Commission of Inquiry says that actually there's nothing wrong that that the president did. Well, at the time, he was still, was about to become deputy president of the ANC. What does that then tell us about the institutions and how you look at what has unfolded?
I wish I could take Cyril and hold not the mic and maybe walk with Comrade Cyril in Marikana and say, tell the people of Marikana that now it was not you. I wish I could take Comrade Cyril and kiss the soil of Marikana. I wish I could take Comrade Cyril and go back with Comrade Cyril and actually go to Chawelo and say, here are the people that are still homeless in Chawelo. And what are we doing about it? You're talking about Zondo Commission? What has come out of it? Have we gained anything that we can celebrate? Have we gained any? It has just become longer and longer, painful. Neil Agat, we're still talking about that.
Yes.
Bigo family are still mourning.
There will be more coming.
We still have all those that are still unaccounted for. And what are we saying about all those people? Are we saying that now we've done enough that can make Mandela clinch that fist?
But Mazibuko, just quickly in closing, in a couple of seconds, as a man or as a young boy at the time who prepared a meal for the former
I was also in the
president.
Release Mandela campaign.
So, knowing the man that you know, what would you think he would say 26 years since democracy, what this become of this country?
I think that Mandela would be standing somewhere today and get sometimes embarrassed by what we are doing morally and politically. And maybe Tatu Mandela would be saying to us, we need more of ethical and values-driven leadership to take us to another level of the Mandela freedom, of the Mandela long walk. And let me thank the character of Mandela, that's the happy side of me, that they came out, they never, pulled back, but they still wanted the best of the African people. And they never did it for their pockets, but for the people.
Bob Mazibuko, thank you so much for your time. Seth Mazibuko joining us and reflecting on the 30th anniversary marking the release of Nelson Mandela back in 1990 on the 11th of February. We go to a quick ad break. When we come back, it is The Bottom Line with Nzinga.